You need to bulk to build muscle or cut to burn fat and lose weight. In the world of fitness, we're usually told to choose one or the other. Some quote, even as far as saying, you cannot do both. Burn fat and build muscle at the same time. But how true is this really? The reason some might argue that these cannot be done simultaneously is because of their physiological nature. Losing fat requires a state of calorie deficit. Your body breaks things down for energy like body fat. And sometimes even gaining muscle require a state of anabolism called calorie surplus, where you're eating excess nutrients to build muscle but also risk storing some of the additional nutrients away as fat. So with cutting, you're eating less to lose fat but might also lose muscle, and with bulking, you eat more to gain muscle but also gain fat. Thus, such a contradiction supposedly means we cannot build muscle and burn fat at the same time. At least that's what some people argue. But when it comes to the literature, some of the research doesn't really seem to support this. Actually, a lot of the scientific studies don't support this. Many studies spanning several decades have instances of subjects increasing muscle and decreasing fat at the same time under certain circumstances. This is known as something you might have heard of: body recomposition, or recomp for short. As far as those circumstances for successful body recomposition go, let's take a closer look at the research. In 1993, one of the more extreme research took place. Untrained obese women were able to lose weight and fat in 90 days while eating only 800 calories per day and performing resistance exercises. They also increased muscle cross-sectional area. However, extreme deficits like this don't always work. In 2011, one study on resistance training athletes compared a 19% versus a 30% calorie deficit diet. The results were that the 19% reduction group increased lean body mass while reducing fat and weight, aka body recomp. The 30% group, the ones with the larger deficit, lost similar amounts of fats but also lost lean body mass. Moving forward, we have a 2015 study where, with a resistance training program, athletes were able to maintain their weights, increase lean mass and reduce fat mass when consuming a high-protein diet. So what do these findings and other findings tell us? What are the common circumstances? Number 1, by far the most common variable for body recomp is resistance training. Resistance training, like lifting weights, is pretty much a necessity for body recomposition. The next common factor is a smaller calorie deficit instead of a larger deficit. Yes, we do have studies that show recomp occurring with extreme deficits. More on that in just a bit. And then there is 3, which is my personal favorite, is eating high levels of protein. All of this is also outlined in a 2011 systematic review on athletes. The reviewers found that study conditions where calorie restriction was modest, resistance training was present and protein intakes were high, lead to a gain, no loss, or insignificant loss of fat-free mass while reducing fat mass. But there is an important kicker here, which also explains body recomp occurring in extreme deficits. When it came to the subjects themselves, studies where subjects were new to resistance training, untrained beginners, and subjects with higher body fat levels tend to see the most significant body recomposition results. Those extreme deficit diets were indeed performed with obese and untrained subjects. It's widely known that beginners can build muscle fairly quickly. They simply have more room to grow, which fortunately means body recomposition can come a lot easier. The same goes for having more body fat, which allows your body to heavily rely on stored body fat for energy rather than break down precious muscle tissue. For individuals with lower body fat and/or decently trained, body recount results would be less effective and cut bulk cycles might be more worth your while, but it doesn't mean that you can't at least try to recomp. Just be wary, the results would come slower, or you might be one of the few unlucky ones to not see any results whatsoever. Then cut, bulk, or maintenance would be the option. But the answer to can you build muscle and burn fat at the same time is essentially yes. But the effectiveness will depend on your current fitness and body fat levels. And if you do decide the most important factors to get right is your calorie deficit level, protein, and training. As far as how to successfully recomp, I'll be covering that in the future video. For now, let me know what you think about building muscle and burning fat at the same time. Have you been able to successfully body recomp yourself? And if you have, share your experience in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a bulky thumbs up and share it with your recomp loving friends. Subscribe for more videos as always. Thank you for watching.